Welcome to the Fermented Homestead. Today we are preserving eggs 8 different ways. I'm going to split this up into 3 separate videos. One of them is going to be more like heat jalapeno sriracha's type of eggs. One is going to be beet eggs, and then one is going to be beet eggs. And then one is going to be just regular like fermented versus pickled eggs. For this third video in the preserving egg experiment that we're doing, we're gonna just do a basic vinegar pickle egg versus a fermented pickle egg. And for both of those, we're gonna kind of use a recipe. We're gonna get started on the brine for the vinegar pickle egg. And I'm kind of using a recipe for this one. It's also from Genius Kitchen. And it calls for 12 hard-boiled eggs, 4 cups of vinegar, a teaspoon of salt, 2 medium onions, 1/3 cup of sugar, and a tablespoon of pickling spices. So we're going to cut that in half for the brine part of it. So we're just going to use 2 cups of vinegar, half a teaspoon of salt. When we have 1 giant onion to split among the 2, so we're going to use half of this big onion, and then maybe like 1/4 cup of sugar and a half of a tablespoon of pickling spices. So let's get started. And basically what you do for the brine is you just put it all in the pot again and bring it to a boil and cook it for 5 minutes. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and add a little bit of garlic as well. And then 2 cups of vinegar. Now we can turn the heat on and add pickling spice. Half a tablespoon. Half of that heaping tablespoon. And then we're gonna bring this to a boil and let it boil for about 5 minutes. And while that's going, we're gonna go ahead and get started on the fermenting one. Then we can add about the same amount of the pickling spice to it. I'm kind of nervous to use spices in here, but hopefully it'll be okay. I'll just make sure to watch it really carefully. What am I missing? Oh, not my healthy recipe. Now we need about a teaspoon of salt. A little more, better be safe than sorry. And then we need a starter inoculator. That'll probably add a little more flavor. Most of my other ferments are kind of dried up at the moment, so we're going to go ahead and use this jalapeno. I'm going to try 3-ish tablespoons, and then we're going to put the eggs in there. Boiling, we're going to lower the heat just a little bit just to let it kind of boil simmer for the next 5 minutes. And we're just going to fill this one up with water. Now we're just going to go ahead and cover it up with the pickle pickle pipe. Close it off. Make sure that it can breathe. And we're going to set this one also on the counter for probably about 3 to 5 days, and we'll start checking it after about 3 days and see what we have. I'm going to be watching all of these very carefully just to make sure, because I am kind of nervous because they are eggs. I've never fermented anything like that before. So I'm going to be a little cautious this time around. So I'm just going to go ahead. Let you check that out. And we'll just see what happens. Alright, the brine is done. And we just need to add the eggs in here. And put the brine over there. Don't have enough room, but there's a bunch of the pickling spice that's left over in this pan. So I'm going to go ahead and add just a bit more. And this one also, I'm gonna go ahead and put on the counter overnight. In the morning, I'm gonna put it in the fridge and let it go for between 3 to 5 days, start checking on it and see what we think. So I'll bring you back then. It's been 3.5 days and we are ready to taste test the pickled and fermented eggs, pickled style. All right. So first one is going to be the refrigerator vinegar pickled one. If I can even get them out of the jar. Goodness, they are buried in here. Hang on. Come on. Almost got it. There we go. Alright, there we go. It just got a bit of a slight brown color to it. It doesn't go very deep. Okay. That just tastes sweet and like cinnamon and cloves. I don't really know what you would use that for other than just eating it. It's tasty, but I can't think of anything off the top of my head that I would want to make with that. You can see it's got a bit of foam. Well, you can't really see. I can't tilt it enough. Let's try this. Here we go. It's got a bit of foam on top of this one. Nothing crazy, nothing that makes me cringe. Maybe. Oh, that's a peppercorn. Let's taste the fermented egg. This one doesn't have much color change at all. There we go. Let's taste test. I really thought these would have a lot more flavor to them. It really doesn't taste like much of anything. Yeah. Maybe it's just a hint of spice. So for these ones, the refrigerator pickled with the vinegar definitely would win. But we're gonna go ahead and I'm going to put these back to ferment and pickle and give it a couple more days and I'll bring you back and we can taste test these again, see if it strengthens the flavor at all, which I'm sure definitely in the vinegar one it will. I don't know about the fermented one. Let's find out. It's been 6 days since we left our eggs on the counter and in the fridge to pickle and ferment. And so now we are getting ready for the taste test. First one we're gonna do is the refrigerator pickled eggs. And this is just with pickle and spice. All right, let's see if we can dig one out. One thing I would recommend is putting any other items that you're putting in there, like the onions or anything like that, put it at the bottom. Makes it a lot easier to get out. Okay. Here's the egg. You can see it's just kind of a bit of like a cream color, and then you can see the spots that it was touching other things. Alright. No real penetration of color, it's just white on the inside. It tastes like fall. All the pickling spices You can taste the cinnamon and the cloves and all that sort of thing. The vinegar taste has definitely mellowed out. It's there for sure, but this would be really good in some kind of egg salad or deviled eggs or something like that. This would be really good. Very unique for an egg flavor. All right, so now it's the lacto-fermented eggs. I don't know if you can see in there, but it's pretty active and you can see the line on the top. All right, nothing funky or weird growing on top. That's just spices there. It smells great. No real change in color for the most part. Okay, let's give this one a go. Very, very mild flavor. You don't really get all of the same spices, but you don't get the flavor as much as I did with the vinegar one. And I'm kind of wondering if it might be a smarter idea next time I try this, or you might want to try it and let me know, is to warm up, cook the spices in the brine first, let it cool off, and then I wonder if that would help kind of marry the spices a little bit better. So if I try this again, I'm going to try doing it that way. And so yeah, I mean, I definitely recommend at least the pickled version of it. It's very tasty. And this one, beyond the lacto-fermented benefits of it, you know, it has a slightly different flavor. It does change the flavor a bit, but not as much. I should have tried this one first and then gone on to this one. So lesson learned. So thank you for watching this, and I hope you take the time to check out the other 2 videos in this series. I will link those down below. Let me know if you have any experiments that you've done or that you're working on with your fermented eggs or preserving your eggs in any way. I would love to have another project idea. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.